Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our stories about power couples for Advent and Christmas. This is part 3 already. I'm Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church in Bergenfield, New Jersey. I'm thrilled you're here. Remember what we talked about last week? We talked about Mary's cousin and her husband. The week before that, we talked about Mary's mother and father. Well, today we're going to change things up. We're going to talk about Joseph's parents. You remember who Joseph was? Joseph was a carpenter. Joseph watched over Mary and Jesus. He married Mary, but God, the Father, was Jesus' father. Joseph was Jesus' stepfather. Now, why would Joseph do these wonderful things? Well, we are told he was a just man. He liked justice and he was righteous. He wanted to do right by God. He was a strong man because he was a carpenter. See, guys who work with their hands develop a lot of muscle. He was very strong. How did he get all these things? Who were his parents? You know, we don't know much about his parents either, just like we don't know a lot about Mary's parents. We do know that his parents were named Jacob and Rachel. Now, if you know your Bible really well, you know there was also a man in the Old Testament. He lived about 1,000 years before this. Okay? His name was Jacob, and he had married a Rachel also. So now we got a second couple, Jacob and Rachel. And Jacob and Rachel lived in Nazareth, that very small town up north. And Jacob was the town carpenter. Now, there's some legends who say that he was a good enough craftsman that sometimes he went to other towns because people wanted him to do work for them. But we don't know that for sure. But Jacob and Rachel had a son named Joseph, and they raised Joseph to be a carpenter. They raised Joseph to be a righteous man. They raised Joseph to be a just man. Are those great things, being just and being righteous? I think so. I hope that you set as goals in life to be just and righteous. What's that really mean? Well, just means you want to treat other people fairly, and righteous means you want to be right with God. So do what's good for God and do what's good for your neighbors. Well, for even non-neighbors, do good for everyone. So Joseph was born to Jacob and Rachel. He was raised in a very small town of Nazareth. He probably was a little more prosperous as a kid than a lot of kids because carpentry was skilled labor. Farmers had a little harder time earning money, and non-skilled laborers earned less money. But a carpenter, that's like being a tradesman nowadays. You can earn good money if your work is good. And Joseph grew up, and eventually he married Mary, and he became stepfather for baby Jesus. Would you like to know where Jacob and Rachel raised Joseph? They here in Nazareth, there is the Church of Saint Joseph. And we don't know this 100% for sure, but this area in the church is where old legends say Joseph had his workshop. That here, within these old stone walls, Joseph had his tools. Joseph made things. He made chairs, tables, all kinds of things for people who needed them. So right here, we believe, is where Joseph was raised by his father Jacob, taught to do carpentry. Joseph was a just and righteous man, and God picked him to be the stepfather, the guardian of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and baby Jesus. That's quite a legacy that Joseph bore, and it was made possible because his parents were a Christmas power couple who raised Joseph well and raised him faithfully. So we celebrate today. We celebrate Jacob and Rachel, parents of Joseph. I hope your parents are raising you to be faithful to God. If they're not, you can do it on your own. And I hope someday, I do hope someday, if you have children, you'll raise them faithfully also. This is Pastor Mark of Clinton Avenue Reformed Church in Bergenfield, New Jersey, with today's story of Christmas power couples. Please, whether you're seeing this on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever, please like, share, and comment on it. God bless you.